Throughout history, there are stories that defy all logic. Whispers of individuals who seem to appear out of thin air. These aren't just myths or legends. They're documented cases of people who suddenly emerged in our world with no past, no records, and no logical explanation for their existence. Imagine waking up one day and everything you know is gone. The people, the places, the very year on the calendar is wrong. This is the terrifying reality these mysterious individuals seem to face. They would be discovered, often wandering aimlessly, disoriented and afraid. The first thing people noticed was their appearance. They wore strange clothing, made from fabrics and styles no one recognized. Their accents were bizarre, their languages completely unknown, filled with words and sounds that didn't belong to any known dialect on Earth. When questioned, their stories only deepened the mystery. They would speak of countries that never existed on any map, describe historical events that never happened, and mention dates that didn't align with our timeline. It was as if they had stepped out of a parallel universe or a different stream of time altogether. Take the famous case of the man from Tord. In 1954, a man arrived at Tokyo's Haneda airport. His passport was issued by a country called. The customs officials were baffled. There was no such country. The man insisted Tord was a real nation, located between France and Spain, and had existed for over 1,000 years. He even had currency from Tord, and a driver's license from his non-existent dome. He pointed to the area on a map where Andorra is, frustrated that his homeland wasn't there. To verify his story, officials put him in a guarded hotel room for the night. The next morning, he had vanished. The room was locked from the inside. The window was shut, and there was no way out. He was gone, along with all his belongings, leaving behind only an impossible story. Then there was Joffe Voren, a man found wandering in a small German village near Frankfurt in 1851. He spoke Brücken German and claimed he was from a country called Laxaria, on a continent named Sakria. He said he was shipwrecked while trying to cross a vast ocean to find his long-lost brother. According to him, his people were Christians and had a sophisticated understanding of geography, which he called a Spatian geographer. He could untrace his journey on any map and had no idea how he ended up in Germany. Like the man from Tord, he seemed to be a visitor from a world that mirrored our own, yet was fundamentally different. What's even more unsettling is that some of these individuals displayed knowledge far beyond their time. They would casually mention scientific principles that wouldn't be discovered for decades, or predict future events with eerie accuracy. They might describe technologies like smartphones or the internet in an era of steam engines and telegraphs. Authorities who interviewed them were often left stunned, unable to explain how a seemingly ordinary person could possess such advanced insights. Was it a hoax, or were they truly glimpsing the future through the eyes of someone who had already lived it? This phenomenon has led many historians and researchers to label these cases as time anomalies or chrononauts, people who do UNT belong in our timeline. The prevailing theory is that they were accidental time travelers, unwilling participants in a journey through the fourth dimension. Perhaps a malfunction in some future technology flung them backward through the centuries, leaving them stranded, lost, and terrified in a past that was not their own. They were ghosts in the machine of time, glitches in the fabric of history. The reactions of these visitors add weight to this theory. Witness accounts consistently describe them as being deeply distressed, confused, and overwhelmed. It wasn't the behavior of a con artist trying to pull a fast one. It was the genuine terror of someone whose entire reality has been shattered. Imagine trying to explain your world of skyscrapers and instant global communication to someone in the 19th century. You'd be seen as a lunatic or a liar. This isolation, this inability to connect with anyone, must have been an unimaginable psychological torment. Some have suggested these visitors weren't just lost, but were running from something. Many accounts describe their frantic state as if they were escaping a great danger from their own timeline. A war? A natural disaster? A societal collapse? We can only speculate about the cataclysms that might force someone to flee through time itself. Perhaps our present was their only refuge, a safe haven from a future we have yet to experience. The mystery is compounded by the fact that many of these cases became entangled with government secrecy. Records have been classified, witness statements have been buried, and official reports have been redacted. This secrecy only fuels the speculation. What did the authorities discover? Did they believe these people were from the future, or perhaps from another dimension? The lack of transparency suggests they found something they couldn't explain, or something they didn't want the public to know. This official silence has turned these historical oddities into modern conspiracy theories. And just as suddenly as they appeared, many of them vanished. One moment they were under observation, locked in a room or held in a cell, and the next, they were gone without a trace. No signs of a breakout, no clues as to their whereabouts. It was as if they were recalled, plucked from our timeline and returned to wherever they came from. Did they fix their time machine? Or were they retrieved by others from their own time? This sudden disappearance is perhaps the most compelling piece of evidence. They didn't just fade into society, they were erased from it. Now, let's consider a final, chilling twist. We've explored the idea that they were lost, confused travelers. We've considered that they might have been refugees fleeing a future catastrophe. But what if they weren't lost at all? What if their arrival wasn't an accident? What if these mysterious visitors were here for a reason? Think about it. A person with knowledge of the future could subtly alter the past. A small change, a whispered word, a piece of information shared with the right person could create ripples that change the course of history entirely. Maybe they were observers, sent back to study us. Or maybe, just maybe, they were agents of change, tasked with a mission to prevent a future they came from, or to ensure that a certain future comes to pass. Their apparent confusion could have been a perfect cover. Their disappearance could have been the completion of their mission. We look at these stories as historical mysteries, anomalies of the past. But what if they are clues? Clues that our timeline is not fixed, that it has been visited, and perhaps even manipulated. The people who appeared from nowhere might not just be a mystery of the past. They might be the architects of our present. The next time you read a strange footnote in a history book, or hear a story that just doesn't add up, pause and wonder. You might just be looking at the footprint of a traveler in time. Thanks for watching. If you find these mysteries as fascinating as I do, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the unexplained. Let me know in the comments which case you find the most intriguing. See you next time.